that emote. That SNES cartridge looks fucking awesome. I really, really like that pixel art. So yeah, that's what happens when you try and push on the little panel. The little frog guy who's been accompanying you, and he's been sort of wandering around and looking for little swarms of flies here and there to grab with his seemingly 2-3 foot long tongue.
Okay.
When he sees that occur, he sort of seems shocked and like backs up and goes and hides behind a rock.
I would
It seems
like
like he's not
to
really
talk to the frogman and ask him what he knows of this area.
I'll pick up my notes and stuff and move on to the next panel as it happens.
Sure. Yeah, Wadumu. It seems like his common isn't spectacular. He just sort of says, "Oh, is Bulubo? Is Lost City? Is old."
Descriptive.
Hmm.
So I'm going to check out this pillar that hasn't been checked out yet.
Sure. So we got the wizard up top there. You're heading down to the bottom. So the topmost one there, when you examine it, it looks like it's got a frog as its sort of relief, that panel at the top, and the one down at the bottom has what looks like a spider of some sort.
Spider.
Hmm.
I'm going to check out the last obelisk here, or
Sure.
pedestal rather.
So that has a mosquito on its sort of topmost panel, the kind of big button on top.
And as he does that, I'll also draw my pictures of the other two.
Sounds good. So you draw all the different images into your little notebook. I don't know if you're sort of making any other notes, or if you just got sort of the series of pictures in there.
Just kind of drawing the images and the rough orientation of where I've seen them.
Sure.
My notepad.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Do you guys want to move on to the next area?
I'd like to, I think, investigation, or would it be history to roll, see if there's significance in these inscriptions?
You could do let's say investigation.
We still haven't checked out the obelisk in the center. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, so do you want to check out that one?
Yeah.
Sounds good. So you go and approach it. It looks a little something like that. It's a 20-foot tall obelisk. It looks like it was crafted from a single piece of like pitted gray stone. Like nearly everything around it, it's overgrown with flowering vines. Most of this area kind of looks like it's slowly being reclaimed by the jungle. And there's what looks like a series of lines in a language you don't understand, carved in rings around the obelisk. You recognize the language. You've definitely seen it since you've been here in Chult. It's kind of a regional language. It's like a language of sort of like Latin is to English, just kind of a really old version of their already different dialect of the common tongue. And it's something it's just too different from common for you to really understand it. When you're examining it and kind of checking it out, you can see Wadumu, your little guide, looks like he's wandered over, and it looks like he's reading it like to himself. The way that his eyes are passing over it, you're feeling like, oh, I think he might know what it's said, like he's actually reading it. Did you draw all that mapping? No, this is a pre-made adventure that I'm running, and I've kind of I've stolen the art assets from it.
I did get the streaming working, Rox.
Sorry, what was that?
I did get my streaming working, so
Nice, awesome.
Good.
Yeah, I've dropped the multi-stream into my channel, and with exclamation mark multi, if for those who if anybody new has shown up, you can see myself and Marka Kraus are both streaming at the moment. So the exclamation mark multi command will pop up a window where you can watch both streams at once, jump between chats at will and everything.
So, are these buildings or are these squares and stuff around the forest area? Are they buildings?
They are, but they looks like they've been fully reclaimed by the jungle. Like they're really, they must have been here for such a long time that they're almost completely overgrown, and yeah, the jungle is just slowly creeping in on this sort of what probably used to be a courtyard as well.
So did my investigation yield any results?
So basically, what was your investigation roll again?
I was checking to see if the inscriptions had any significance.
Right. So a 13, and it's intelligence related. You feel like they're based on kind of being able to understand at least the basic letters. You're feeling like there's some words you can kind of make out. It seems like it's some sort of riddle, but without kind of knowing exactly what they say, it would be pretty impossible to figure out what exactly it's referring to. Yeah, you're not quite sure. Although you do suspect that due to the fact that Wadumu seems to be reading it, you'd suspect that he's probably totally fluent in this language. You might be able to use him as a sort of translator of sorts.
Okay, seeing him mumbling to himself, I'll say to him, "What say the rock?"
He just sort of goes, "Oh, just reading. Riddle's hard." He seems to just sort of assume that you guys speak Chultan, and after sort of explaining that you don't, he tells you. Oh, sorry. Another detail of the obelisk is you notice that there's a panel in this one as well. That's what that. I don't know if you guys saw the image that I showed of the obelisk there.
Yes, it's got a snake on it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's a panel that has like a relief of a snake. That sort of really is what's the term for it? Extremely textured. Like it sort of sticks quite far out of the obelisk itself. Wadumu, once you explain, like, we don't know what this language is, like, read it, basically. He's like, so from sort of top to bottom, it says, I sizzle like bacon, and am come from an egg. A backbone have I, but not a single leg. And then he goes down to the next line. It says, well, I've got 4 legs, I've no tail in sight. You see me in the day, but hear me at night. The third line says, armored, but not a knight, snapping, but not a twig, always moving, always at home. The fourth line says, within a layer of silver string, I dispatch my prey with a biting sting. The fifth riddle is, A face like a tree, skin like the sea, a huge beast am I, but vermin frighten me. The sixth says, born of water, it will also drown me. I'm a bloodthirsty beast you can barely see. And the very last riddle says, I have no father, only a grandfather. I shall bear no sons, only daughters.
Well, I'm gonna just take a. I don't know. I don't want to say it because my character's stupid. At least my barbarian has like -1 intelligence or something. So
Do you have a place where you
for
could
the sake
drop
of role playing, I'll act stupid.
Do you have a place where you could drop the riddle
Yeah, I could
in
do.
text form?
Now, Wadumu mentions it looks like only some of these riddles seem sort of relevant. Like the way in which they're written makes them seem like they're sort of here, I'll drop them into chat here. Yeah, he's like, I think that only the first few seem to be important. The hey Squash, how are you? Let me know if you feel like getting in on the session, dude. We're only just starting. Oh, your internet's having issues. I just caught your Discord message. Merp, merp. That's a shame. Yeah. So says those three stand out in how they're written. Like the text that they're written in. The other ones, they seem like they're sort of like unfinished. They're not really they're not carved by the same hand, basically. So he's like, it's either the first three riddles seem to be separate from the second four. Hey DGG, how goes? We're just rocking a little D&D today. Just realized chat is over the chat.
I kind of shove past him as I take a closer look at the rock, and I want to look to see if one set of text is clearly older than the next, more worn.
Damn, there's nowhere convenient for that, is there? Yeah. So basically, he you see the ones that I wrote in chat, right? Like on Roll20.
Yep.
Yeah. So Wadumu is convinced that if you could solve those riddles, that you'd be set. He's like pretty sure that the other ones are a red herring, but perhaps it's the other four that need to be solved. He's not sure.
Okay, so my barbarian is going to approach the pillar and take a look at the exposed section with the engraving on it, or the picture on it.
Sure. Yeah. So the panel that's there that's got the snake on it. When you really look closely at it, you realize it's sort of, not only is it like textured much more strongly than some of the other ones, but it looks like it actually sticks out far enough that that it kind of is reminiscent of a handle.
Well,
Okay, my barbarian is going to attempt to fiddle with the stone sticking out.
Oh.
I glance up and then look back down at my notes.
So you you go to mess with it a little bit. You sort of grab at it and pull at it and stuff, and you find that when you pull on the snake, the whole panel kind of comes out, and then as soon as you've pulled it out a certain amount, there's a loud like clunk from within the obelisk, and the ground under you starts shaking. It sort of shakes with a single mighty heave, and the large paving stones that surround the obelisk start to rumble and drop like maybe a couple of inches into the ground. It seems that whatever you're doing seems to be making the stones sort of descend incrementally into the ground below, not unlike stairs.
Seeing this, I say,
you guys think?
great insight, my friend. Clearly you realize that the snake was the first answer. However, what could the answer to the second riddle be?
Well, I've got 4 legs, I've no tail in sight. You see me in the day, but hear me at night.
It would seem to be perhaps a frog. After all, of these 4, which one, or of these 6, 7, sorry, counting. I can count.
Now,
of these 7, the frog seems to be one of the few that you would hear at night.
Now, as soon as you finish, as soon as the ground sort of finishes, it's sort of slow descent. It's not nearly enough that it's like an actual staircase. It's just sort of the panels, one after the next, are a little bit lower than the others, and you feel like all of the rumbling that occurred was incredibly noisy, and it seems to have been enough commotion that some of the corpses that were around the fire begin standing and sort of lurching toward you guys. You see that they seem like sort of zombies, but they're covered in this this flowering sort of jungle plant. So they've got this odd sort of yellow to their flesh.
Interesting. As my barbarian has a very he loves to fight.
Well, unfortunately, I
with
was
his axe out.
So let me grab the initiative tracker.
I was kind of so caught up in my interest in this riddle that I immediately started dashing off towards the next panel, not paying any attention to what was around me.
Well, let's get some initiative rolls.
Oh, there goes that 20 again.
I'll just roll them for you guys to expedite the process a little bit. But
oh
for
wait,
next
did
combat,
I get the 20? Oh, I got the 20, didn't I?
Yep.
All right, so actually, I just realized that these guys are, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, they rise up to their feet, and as you start sort of preparing your weapons, getting things ready, you see when the zombies sort of fix their vacant gazes upon you, and like one of them has this thin tendril that uncoils from within its rotting head, and you see that it's like tipped with this small yellow and purple flower. So it seems like they're not animated so much by the sort of evil necromantic magic that most zombies are animated by. It seems to be more of a like you suspect it has something to do with all of these plants that are everywhere.
As a wizard, I have prepared spells, right?
You have yes. You've got on your character sheet. You'll see the right near the top. There's this little thing that says Core Bio and Spells. So on the spells
Mhm.
panel, there's like a list of them, and I think there's like 3 or something that you're able to prepare. It's weird that I thought that I had it set up where it was already prepared. So
It says I have 2 slots and 0 remaining, so
yeah, the 0 remaining is just kind of I don't know why it says that. But yeah, the number that you get to prepare is equal to, I think, your level plus. Here, let's do classic little combo there. So yeah, it should be level plus intelligence modifier. So you've got 4 spells prepared. If they're magic missile, mage armor, shield, and either detect magic or sleep or something would be good options. You should have, yeah, magic missile and sleep are both on your list of sort of go-to attacks.
Mhm.
So that means, I guess, sleep. Yeah, let's just prepare sleep then. And then it makes sense that it's on your little attack list there. Oh lordy, yeah. So yeah, you've got some spells prepared. You have 2 spell slots each day. I don't know why it says 0 remaining. I guess it just defaults to 0, but you've got 2. You can cast any 2 spells.
I can increase the number, so set that. All right, so I prepare spells, and then I have X casts where X is my slot, and then unlimited cantrips.
Yeah, the cantrips you can do at will as much as you want, and then you've got 2 spells for actual like spell slots. Yeah.
And then I've got some ability that lets me do 1 ritual spell a day without.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at the enemies, making sure that they're correct. Yeah. Okay. Actually, I just realized there's 3 of you. This was balanced for 4. I think that 3 zombies is actually too many for a group of 3. So there's 2 of them. Zod
One
the Slayer.
spontaneously died.
Yeah, it
via
wasn't quite.
plant fungus.
Started getting up, but it just yeah, the fungus didn't have enough of a.
The body just decomposed right then.
Pretty much. So Zod, what do you want to do for your turn?
I run to the
Mark,
zombie with
are
my
you
axe
moving
at
your
the
webcam
ready
around?
to slash his
No.
leg.
Something's weird with it. It just keeps like shifting focus or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. Whatever.
Yeah, that's very odd. It blew up. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, I forget what I roll. Do I roll an axe or something? Or I have to move over there first. How much does moving cost?
So you all, I believe, have 30 feet of movement. So that's basically 6 squares, because each of them is 5 feet. So you can move up to 30 feet, and then on your character sheet, right in like the center of your character sheet, you should have a list of attacks. Now, a barbarian can, if they like, I believe 2 times per day, you have the ability to fly into a barbarian rage. And when you rage, you take half damage, and you deal 2 extra damage on every strike.
And how long does that last? Is that just for the battle? Or...
That lasts for a minute, which is 10 rounds of combat, which is longer than any combat really ever lasts.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
If you do want to rage, do you see how in the center of your sheet you've got your attacks there? You've got crossbow, hand axe, javelin.
Checkbox it then.
Yeah, so you check that rage damage box,
okay,
and then that toggles on that extra 2 damage so that it'll do it for you.
All right, I'll enter rage then,
Sure.
Nice.
And so I spent 15 spaces moving.
Yep.
So then I should still have enough to attack, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Attacking requires none of your movement. That's an action.
Oh,
You have
okay.
an action and you have movement on every turn. And so
Okay,
you can
I
even attack
shall-
and then continue to move if you want. You've got 30 feet worth.
Okay, I shall attack with my great axe. So I click it, right? I roll.
Yeah, go for it. An 11. An 11 does hit this slow-ass shambling zombie.
Oh, very good. I was worried.
Yeah, it is a very low roll. Usually wouldn't hit something, but these guys, they're easy to hit.
So then I re-rolled again for the actual damage, right?
Yeah, you click the word Great Axe and then the damage pops up there. So you've done 6 damage to it. Perfect.
Okay, and then I'm going to move 15, and I have 30. So I'm gonna retreat back a little bit now.
Now keep in mind, if once you've entered melee range of an
Oh
enemy,
yeah.
if you move outside of that range again in the same turn, it does get a free attack against you.
Okay.
So, I mean, you're allowed to, but I don't know if you want to take that hit. Hey, Sky.
I think I'll
Of
stay
course.
where I am then, because I forgot about that.
All right, sounds good. So, Mark, you are up.
So I'm gonna try to, like a good rogue, attack from behind. So try to sneak around these guys a little bit. So
Sounds good.
one,
Now,
two.
in 5th edition, when
Yep.
you're sneak attacking with a rogue,
Yep.
the nice thing is that you don't actually have to be attacking like from being hidden. I mean, that is one way to satisfy the parameters by which you can sneak attack. But you're also entitled to a sneak attack if you have
Sorry.
any allies who are within melee range of that enemy.
Didn't mean to roll that. I was trying to look at the stats on this.
Yeah, that's all good.
How far away do I have to be to do the sneak attack?
If you do a ranged attack, I mean, whatever the range of your weapon is, you can attack in melee, you can attack ranged, and any of them are entitled to a sneak attack. It's very forgiving in 5th edition for, sort of allowing a rogue to sneak attack.
What's the range on a longbow? It's
I believe it's a short bow, and it's 80 feet. You can shoot beyond 80
Okay.
feet. However, you have disadvantage in that circumstance, meaning that you'd take the lower of the 2 rolls.
I don't even know how far away that is. How do you measure that?
Each square.
Each square is 5 foot.
Yeah.
But there's also this little icon that's like a circle with a line through it, like an upside down Q kind of, and that's meant to denote a ruler. So you can like measure distances with it if you like.
Okay.
Diagonal squares are just another 5 feet of movement. As like they don't use any extra movement. You can kind of
Okay.
travel extra fast by traveling diagonally in 5th edition. It's a little
All right.
odd.
All right. Cool. Well, now that I understand the
Video games
mechanics,
like that.
What's that, Kiki?
I played video games like that.
Yeah, totally, exactly. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of games where when you move diagonally, you're just moving along the X and Y axis at the exact same rate.
so how do I do a short bow sneak attack? What do I do with that?
You shoot it at the enemy. So the way that you do it is go to your character sheet, and you see the short bow that's on your character sheet.
Yes.
So make sure that sneak attack that's just below it is toggled on. There's that little check mark. So if you do have, if you are entitled to a sneak attack, you make sure that you've got it checked on, and then you just click the name of the weapon, and it'll roll it for you. D&D speedrun, yeah, pretty much. 23 to hit. That is absolutely a hit. And in order to roll damage, in the chat pane where you see that it was just rolled, click on the word short bow at the bottom of that attack you just made, and it'll pop open the damage.
All right.
There it is. So you do 8 plus 5 sneak attack damage is 13. 13 damage. Beep, beep, beep. Massive. Exclamation mark hype. Then you are entitled to up to 30 feet of movement if you'd like to use it.
Hypothesis.
Otherwise, you're fine
Garbage.
where you're at. Yeah. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think that I'm good where I'm at. I'm going to keep backing up my bro here from the range.
Sounds good. DGG eating the gooeyest cookie of my life, dude. That sounds so. I'm hungry right now, and I'm mad. I'm mad that you're eating a really good cookie. So, yeah. So did you say you're fine where you're standing?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. So, Harry,
Yep.
you're a wizard, Harry. What
You're a Harry.
what do you want to
Very
do?
whiz.
Indeed.
Line of sight penalties, do those apply?
Sorry, what was that?
Do I have line of sight penalties on him?
Yeah, the pillar that's right between you and the enemy is literally 20 feet tall and 15 feet wide. So, you
Do I
feel
also
like
have to worry about the barbarian being engaged if I move around?
no. I mean, so there is a rule in 5th edition technically where if you're shooting through an ally, your opponent has like +2 armor class.
Sure.
I usually ignore that for the sake of simplicity, especially with newer players. So
I'm just used to playing with a DM that gets really into the combat. So
yeah, I like. I think that it's more important to have things flow nicely than having to remember a lot of extra rules. So like
especially on
5th
a
edition
stream,
did
yeah.
away with
So
a lot of extra stuff. Like there's no flanking rules, stuff like that. So I don't know. I think that's another thing we can kind of gloss over.
I'll move over here then, so the pillar's not blocking my way, and I will do a fire called fire.
Bolt.
Yep, on the nearest zombie.
Sounds good. Yeah, he's already been quite wounded, so it's perfect. 12 to hit, excellent. Even if it had +2 AC from shooting through a barbarian, you're still golden. And then click on the word firebolt in chat in order to in the chat pane over.
Were those both damage rolls or?
No, none of those were damage rolls. So yeah, go over to the chat pane and then click the word firebolt like in that chat pane itself instead of on your character sheet, and it'll pop open a little thing where it shows the damage.
Oh, okay.
There it is, 7 fire damage. The zombie goes up in flames. The plant that was sticking out through its head burns off, and the body collapses to the ground. And was that all 30 feet of your movement, or do you still have more movement left?
Yes, that was all my movement.
All right. So the zombie. Every day I'm shambling. So he slams. He comes running at the barbarian and just slams into you. Fortunately, he did not crit.
Very good.
So he deals 4 damage to you.
Okay.
If he had advantage, that would have he would have been using that crit. 3.5 was such an abusive manner for PCs and headache for DMs. Yeah, absolutely. The 3.5 got too silly. Too silly. So yeah, you take 4 damage, which I can update your dude. We've got it up here. Why am I not able to update this? Oh, HP is on the left. Derp. Oh my god. Okay. So you take 4 damage. You're down to 10 hit points. Zod the Slayer. So this is the top of the second round?
Yes.
So give me 1 sec. Jumping around in these little modules, these pre-written modules, is kind of a pain in the ass. They're not usually great in terms of the way they're written, unfortunately. So I love that soundbite.
Too bad it's never mind.
What's that?
Nothing. Never mind.
The noise of the grinding machinery appears to have a rather unfortunate side effect. In the distance, you see dozens of zombies crawling, clawing, and climbing out of the collapsed and overgrown buildings that surround the courtyard. To make matters worse, they're headed in your direction. You feel like a couple zombies is probably a bit of a challenge. The dozens of zombies, you feel like there's no possible way that you'd be able to fight them all. You're for sure going to get overrun with all the zombies that you see, sort of making their way. That said, so they're sort of piling out of buildings and stuff in the jungle at the outskirts of the map. Zod, it's your turn.
I shall roll Great Axe.
Sky says 3.5 was my baby and perfect in every way. 5.0 is like a redheaded stepchild. No, you're crazy. They fixed everything. 5th edition is the perfect system.
I don't know. I'm used to Pathfinder, so.
Yeah, Pathfinder definitely did fix a lot of stuff that was sort of an issue, in my opinion, in 3.5.
And they got a new edition of Pathfinder out that I'm going to be trying out with some friends soon. So.
Yeah, I think that'll be kind of cool. Your Great Axe, an 11 hits. You do 9 points of damage to the zombie. Well done. You've chunked him for a big piece of his health, although you see that there's a lot more that are about to replace him.
And so I haven't moved yet. So then, disengaging from the enemy, how much does that cost an action, or does it just cost?
Yeah, disengaging it requires your action.
Okay. Yeah, then I'll just stand here for now.
All right, Mark. You see these zombie hordes beginning to swarm from all directions. The small stairwell that's underneath your feet that started opening has stopped. You feel like maybe there's more that needs to be done in order to continue the stairwell's sort of, I don't know, passage downward.
Can I speak as a free action?
Absolutely.
All right. I shout out, hurry to the turtle while I go for the frog.
Sounds good. Do you want to do anything else on your turn?
Whose turn is it?
Oh, sorry,
it's my turn.
Mark's.
Yeah, that was a free action. So, let's see how
fight them defensively.
Right. Oh, helps if I'm clicking on the right thing here. Yeah, I'm gonna move towards the turtle. Can I move through that? How do I do this? I don't even know. Like,
you would be walking like around. So you'd walk like 5 feet, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Okay.
So a tiny bit of extra movement to kind of walk around the pillar, but you can move at diagonals around it and everything.
Right.
So anywhere on this sort of y-axis you can be, really.
So I can move and attack, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Come on, let me move my character.
Yeah, you need to change from the ruler kind of thing to the pointer
there we
that's
go.
up at the very top.
This was where I was going to go. Awesome. All right. And then I'm going to...
So with your action, you can either basically move again, called the dash action, or you can attack. I mean, there's other options. Dodge if you want incoming attacks to have disadvantage to hit you.
All right, I'm going to move again then. Dash.
Sure.
To the obelisk there.
Sounds good. So, yeah, moving again gives you like a full another 30 feet of movement. So, yeah, you can move another up to 10 feet if you like. So you're running over, and once you're adjacent to it, you see that there's a turtle on top of this panel. And then that's the end of your turn? Yes? Yes?
Yes.
Sounds good. So Harry, you're up.
All right. I'm going to dash all the way up to the top panel, 55 feet of movement.
Yep.
As part of that, can I push in the panel?
Yeah, I'd say it's not really an action to just like slam your hand down on the thing.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Okay. A 1. Awesome. So you push down the panel, and this time you don't feel that same resistance that the other one had. It pushes all the way down, and you hear a loud clunk, and you see that those sort of little stones that were around the obelisk begin to further lower with a loud sort of grinding sound. Then we go to the zombie. On the zombie's turn, there's also doop 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 doop. We'll do a zombie here, and we'll do a zombie here. So the zombie that's right next to the barbarian attacks. Gets a 15 to hit. The barbarian's armor class is only 14, so it does hit for 7 bludgeoning damage. However, you have resistance to all damage right now. I just remembered.
Yeah, don't
So that
take
last
half?
time that you took 4, you actually were supposed to only take 2. I forgot.
Yeah,
And then
I
yeah, the
forget about that as
7
well.
rounds down to 3.5, which then actually rounds down to 3. You round all
Very good.
fractions
It's like
down.
integer math.
Yeah, yeah. So all fractions round down in 5th edition. Then we go to the top of the initiative again, and now there's a couple
And
extra
that is
zombies in
Zod.
the mix. Zod, what are you doing?
I shall attempt to finish off this zombie here with another great axe swing.
Sounds good.
Got a 7. Is that gonna hit or no?
7 unfortunately does not hit.
All right.
And then we go to the other zombies. So this zombie starts ing his way toward the nearest person. And then this zombie also does the same. Mark.
All right, so I press this button in front of me.
Sounds good. So you push the button, which is the turtle, I believe, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So a 3. Okay, so that means no complication. So you push the button, this big panel, and it presses all the way down. You hear another loud clunk, and you see that the stairs now seem to be descending pretty much at a 45-degree angle. You suspect that they're descended at least enough for you to be able to climb down the stairs at this point.
All right. So in true rogue fashion, I'm going to run towards the stairs and go down them.
Sounds good. So 5, 10, 15, yeah, totally. So you've got tons of movement. So now you run to the stairs and you start descending. You get quite a chunk of the way down as well. Harry Wizard.
All right. I'm pretty selfish as well. I will make my full dash down the staircase.
Sounds good. Get a good
I
chunk of
am
the way
eager
down
to
as well.
see what is down there and take note.
This zombie once again attacking the barbarian. He hits. My God, 6 damage, but it's reduced down to 3. So despite having taken something like 1 hit point more damage than you even have hit points, fortunately, when you're raging, you're set. That you've only been dropped down to 6 HP now.
Very good.
Cunning actions, a sage. So then we go to it's the bottom of the round. So hang on, let me just grab a zombie for here, and we'll throw a zombie up here, and we'll see if they happen to go before you. And then top of the round, descending, you go before anyone, Zod.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to disengage from the zombie.
Sure.
What do I roll anything for that?
Nope, it's just an action. You just spend your action to be able to not get attacked, to carefully kind of move away and not present an opening for your opponent to attack you.
Okay, and then I'm going to run toward the staircase as well.
Sounds good. Fortunately, you're already near enough that, yeah, you managed to run over the stairs, and you see that the stairs wind down 20 feet into the darkness. And they open into a vast cavern, a full 50 feet wide and twice again as long. The moment that you reach the bottom of the stairs, they grind back up into place. Wadumu just
Okay.
barely makes it down the stairs behind you. He leaps onto the stone floor below.
Well, that was close.
Indeed. You see this. A platform rests in the middle of a 50-foot wide chamber with 4 tall pillars extending to a wide ceiling resembling a mass of writhing snakes. Each of the 3-foot thick pillars is carved in such a way to appear as if serpents are coiled around it. The carved serpents have been lacquered in once vibrant shades of green, yellow, orange, and red that have faded with age. On the far side of the chamber, a 20-foot wide curtain of water falls into the room from the carved maw of a stone serpent's head, with 2 huge eyes that appear to be made of sparkling yellow stones.
I'm sure there's a waterfall.
What's that?
So I'm sure there's nothing behind the waterfall.
Yeah,
When
naturally.
has anything ever been behind the waterfall?
I can't think of a time that that's been a thing.
So you said the statues with the eyes are at the waterfall? You said? Statue with the yellow eye gems, whatever? I missed that part.
So
Sorry.
there's these 4 pillars
Okay.
that are on that platform in the center. And those look like they're carved so that it looks like there's serpents that wrap around it. And then on the very far side of the chamber, where I'm pinging right here, that is where there's a 20-foot wide curtain of water, and it falls from the carved maw of a stone serpent's head that has 2 huge eyes that appear to be made of sparkling yellow stones.
My barbarian is going to enter this cavern and make his way towards the platform in the center.
Sure.
I'm just going to keep shuffling along.
So, yeah, you're wandering through. You find that the water that covers the floor is only a few inches deep, so it doesn't really inhibit movement at all. A thin layer of sand seems to line the bottom. That's likely sediment accumulated from whatever, likely the nearby river that you've seen already that must feed this waterfall. The floors and walls of the chamber seem to be made of like unhewn stone. They look like they've just been worn down by the passage of time and water. And yeah, the stone underfoot is smooth, but it's not slick. So again, your mobility isn't really affected, which is kind of nice. You might have expected otherwise. It looks as if the platform in the center of the room is worked of like it's made of like worked stone brick. The craftsmanship seems to be exquisite and probably at least a couple of centuries old.
So I'm looking for some way to climb up there and get those pretty yellow jewels out of this stone eyes. Is there any way to climb this? My greed has overcome me.
You could try. One of you was saying you're checking out the platform.
I'm checking out the
Yes.
the stone statue by the waterfall that has the
Yeah.
yellow gems in its eyes.
Okay, so you're checking out the waterfall. The barbarian. What are you doing?
I'm standing beside the platform here.
Okay, and what's the wizard up to?
I'm inspecting the pillars while mumbling to myself, snakes. Why did it have to be?
Naturally. Yeah. So you yeah, checking it out. As you approach the waterfall, you see I think it talks about the waterfall in here. Not really. It's a waterfall. There's you hear the sound of falling water. It smells of sort of old rotten mildew. As the wizard is investigating the sort of central platform, you're checking out the pillar, investigating the carvings and stuff. And when you get real close, the darkness is suddenly shattered as a number of torches set throughout the room burst into yellow and blue flames. The light is reflected in the mist of the waterfall, and it forms the image of a bright golden orb. It takes a moment to fully form before you realize it's the sun. The warmth is short-lived, however, as the reflected light shifts and changes in shape and resolves into a pair of yellow serpentine eyes that seem to peer directly into your soul. Yes, a woman's voice whispers. There's a hissing voice that sort of echoes throughout the room. She tastes your fear, relishes upon it. So sweet. Step closer that she might taste it better.
Well, who could resist that?
I've seen no offense. I
Yes.
didn't know where this was going.
I step closer to the sweet-tasting sun orb illusion.
Sure. Yeah, as you are approaching, you see that the light reflected by the waterfall seems to sort of cast dancing shadows through the room, and it almost makes it appear as if the carvings that are on the ceiling and some of the outer pillars move and shift.
Like a snake.
You you definitely feel very suddenly like you're being watched.
I look around to see if there's an escape route in this cavern area.
What are the others doing?
I'm
still taking a look at these pillars.
And
Sure.
I'm just running to cower behind the wizard.
Should I roll
Alright.
perception or something to see what I find by looking around?
Yeah, perception would be appropriate.
I actually don't have that awful perception, although I still got a really low roll.
So as you're looking around, your eyes sort of are passing by the waterfall again, and you swear your eyes passed by it, and then you sort of do a double take, and it's still those sort of golden eyes, but you're certain that as you glance past it, that you saw like someone that you recognize, like a loved one from your past, just briefly in the sort of reflection of the light on the waterfall. It makes you feel incredibly uneasy. You're not liking it. As the wizard is investigating the columns, there's sort of a bit of a rumbling, and a few of the stone snakes that were affixed to the ceiling, like part of the ceiling itself, fall, and immediately upon striking the floor, sort of animate and then slither off, sort of right by your feet and into the water, kind of disappear. The voice again speaks and asks, "What has led you here to Bulubo?"
I like looking at old stuff.
My barbarian slowly approaches the waterfall where he saw the illusion.
Mm-hmm. You, with your very minimalist answer, are once again asked a question, which who are you? Why are you here? Why have you worked so hard to find this place?
Well, I'm Wiz, Harry Wiz, and I like looking at old stuff. So go where there's old stuff.
My barbarian came here to kill stuff.
Voice goes old.
I came here to steal your sexy jewel eyes. Give me them eyes.
You have no idea how old this place is.
Well, good. That sounds promising.
Older the better.
Yep.
You feel like there's a bit of hesitation, as if maybe this voice is trying to figure out whether anything else can be learned from you. But then it seems like perhaps it decides that there isn't anything else to be learned, because suddenly one of the pillars that looked to just have more of those sort of carvings of snakes, sort of the snake carvings on them begin to sort of shift, and you realize, oh, there was a being there. There was something like hidden, sort of pretending to be part of the column, which blended in incredibly well. If any of you want to roll history, you might be able to discern what it is.
Sure. Sounds like it's old.
Could be. And I mean, any of you can feel free to, like, if any of you are curious.
My history ain't so good.
I usually like to throw
full of theft.
Well, I mean, a D20 is a D20.
Mine is apparently bad as well. My barbarian didn't receive proper schooling. That's okay.
All right. So Kiki got a 12, relinquished to 6, and Mark, you're not feeling like seeing. Oh,
why
16.
not?
Hey, all right. So yeah, a couple of you. I mean, relinquished is just like, oh, that's just like a lady, right? But the others, you recognize it as a Yuan Ti. The Yuan Ti.
I kind of do want to.
Yeah.
The Yuan Ti are a race of serpent folk. They're this particular one is a pureblood. Yuan Ti purebloods are mostly human. They just have sort of minor reptilian features like slit eyes, a forked tongue, and little like patches of scales on their skin, which is sort of what differentiates them from a normal human. Yeah, they're usually known to be like they group together. They worship dark gods. Historically, they've been evil. If you're to assume that this thing has lived in this cavern for hundreds of years, it's probably of that old guard, those sort of evil Yuan Ti. Yeah, they're intelligent and often sort of innate spellcasters.
All right, well, now I know why snakes.
Yeah.
I write down in my notebook that serpent people like snake temples.
So let me initiative, and then do you guys want to roll initiative for yourselves, or?
Yeah, I can do that.
Sure. Hang on. Let me just. I actually need to update the tokens from the other page. Oh, or drag them from the other page, actually.
Where do you even roll that at?
It's at the top of the character sheet next to your armor class.
Oh, there it is.
Damn, why is it not copying? There it is. So I'm just going to take the tokens from the other page. The way that this site works is a little bit janky sometimes. So yeah, your roles are like associated with a token, and your character sheets too, I believe. Oh, they're still not updated. My God. Hang on. We'll just. It should be auto-updating your HP and stuff.
So as a free speech, free action here, just speaking out loud. This thing is pretty slow, man. It's taking a long time to act. Fantastic. How you guys doing?
Oh, I see. I see.
This is in character.
Yes, this is in character. I mean, why not? I'm a rogue, man.
I've got to just add these
My
tokens.
barb can
There
go
it
for
is.
some mac and
Oh my
cheese
gosh.
right
All right.
about now. Hmm?
So we've got Harry, we've got Zod, and we've got Mark.
I'm pretty happy to find out this temple's rather old, but I'm not too fond of the fact that a bunch of the old stuff is evil. Shame to actually destroy it.
Whoops, why did I add?
I feel you, man.
You got like a 20 or something, didn't you, Mark?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Holy crap, sorry about that. That took longer than expected. So this Yuan-Ti sort of steps out of the pillar that it seemingly was part of a moment ago, and before it can do anything, you're super quick to react. What do you do?
So, I
throw a javelin at it.
or is it my turn?
You can go before I throw a javelin if you want.
Okay. I'm going to short bow it.
Sounds good. So, yeah, you shoot at it. And 13 to hit. You do hit her.
All right. And then I run away.
Okay. Go
You
for
guys
it.
like to run away a lot, huh?
I'm squishy.
Well, I only have like 12 health.
Well, we should have brought a healer.
Where's my HP?
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna play Barb next time. So, unless we continue this campaign.
I think you've got very little health.
So after you take your turn, Mark, but before Harry Wizard goes, the Yuan-Ti spits some sort of stuff into the face of of Harry, who's only 15 feet away. Roll a Constitution saving throw.
Well, that's pretty high. That should
15.
protect you
Nice.
from whatever got launched at you.
Hopefully.
Yeah. What's her DCs are yeah. So she spits something at your eyes, but you sort of close your eyes in time, and it irritates them, but you're fine. And then it's your turn.
Right,
I
so
attempt my javelin. Oh no, wait, no, it's not my
wait.
turn yet.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
Harry.
Yes.
Okay.
So in 5th edition, some sort of like bosses essentially have legendary actions where they can actually act occasionally out of their own turn order. Just so you know sort of what's happening.
Okay,
In case you're
I
wondering.
will use my action and try to sizzle her like bacon.
Try and which, sorry?
I'm gonna try and sizzle her like bacon.
Okay. Ooh, firebolt. Nice. Okay, so you hit.
Right.
2 fire damage.
Well, it's not nothing.
Awesome. And then
I assume if it's this is a boss, it's probably got quite a bit of health though, so
she spits again at your face.
I was gonna say for my movement action, can I spit back at her?
Can you which, sorry?
For my movement action, can I spit back at
Yeah, that's a free action. That's just like a little, just like speaking, that's a little free thing.
Alright, as my free action, I'll spit too.
Sounds good.
Spit and run, man. Get over here, Lord Zod.
The old spit and run.
I'm gonna stay safely out of range and try my luck with javelins.
All right. Do you want to do any movement, by the way, with your wizard, or?
Yeah. After the fireball, I was gonna does she still spit at me, or?
Well, yeah, you suspect she might do it again. What's your, if you want to do any movement, you should do it.
Okay. Go down here.
Awesome. So 30 feet south, awesome. And then, she turns and she spits this same greenish stuff at Mark.
That's kinky, but you're not my type.
Roll a Constitution save.
Constitution save. Where's that at?
The saving throws. So they're just to the right of your 6 main attributes, up near the top of your sheet. A 4.
Oh no.
You take 5 poison damage. So you go from 9 hit points down to 4, and you can't really see properly. You're actually blinded until the end of your next turn. Zod. Blinded isn't the end of the world.
Javelin.
You still know where she is. You just have disadvantage on your next turn to hit her, just so you know. What are you up to, Zod?
I'm throwing a javelin.
Sure. Are you moving anywhere as well? A javelin
Not at
has
the
a
moment.
30-foot range. Past 30 feet, you have disadvantage.
You're 45 feet away.
Yeah, presumably you'd want to move within javelin range. 10, 20. She's 35 feet from you now. There you go. So you whip a javelin. It hits. Roll damage.
I got 9.
Dude, that's sick. That's max damage. Awesome.
Oh, is it?
So
That's
you
pretty
nail
good.
her with a
I guess it
javelin.
is because I got a 6 on the d6.
Yeah. Were you raging, by the way? Did you want to use your second rage for the day?
No, I'm gonna save it for now.
Okay. So she moves incredibly quickly and very gracefully toward you in sort of very swift strides, and pulls a scimitar from out of who knows where and swings it at you. 12 to hit,
Okay.
which misses, and then she swings again. A 4 to hit, which misses. Oof. Lucky. That was her turn. Mark.
So, I'm nice and blind here. It's fantastic. So, I'm just gonna run away. And that's it.
Run where?
Moved back further away,
Okay.
couple
Just
feet.
away from her?
Yep.
Sure. All right. So you move away. Do you want to do anything for your action?
Let's see here.
Well, you can still attack her. It's just with disadvantage. So you could still like even fire a bow despite being partially blinded.
Let's try a firebolt. Why not?
So 3 does not hit her, unfortunately. In fact, that's a fumble. That's what the red number means.
Yay.
So you do not hit her at all. You shoot a firebolt and it hits right here. That's where you manage to strike with your firebolt. Then we go to now she, for her turn, moves down toward the wizard and does not provoke an attack of opportunity when she does so. Harry, what would you like to do?
Okay, I will. See.
Rip so close. Yeah, the natural one. Just so close.
Measurement. So at this point, I believe she's within a 20-foot radius of that. If not, just a little bit to the side of that. I will cast Sleep using some of my sand.
Sure. Now, the way that sleep works is you generally roll 5 8-sided dice, and that is how many hit points worth of creatures are affected. So if you roll 5 8-sided dice and you roll lower than her hit points, it will have no effect, just so you know.
Right.
Also, what was your knowledge roll?
The history roll?
Yeah, that history
I believe
roll.
that was 12.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, do it up. 18 HP worth. Unfortunately, it has no effect. Hey, Doughy boy, thanks for the host, yo. Greetings, Doughy.
Yeah, well, that was my attempt. Apparently, snakes do not sleep.
Yeah, not easily. Which means that you suspect that she's got more than 18 hit points.
That's interesting, because didn't we already do about 18? Did 9? 10, 11...
Yeah, you've done a chunk.
And another 9. So we've done 20. Pretty tanky.
So, and then you're wanting to move?
Yep. Go. Go right here.
Sure. And then after your turn, she moves 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet up to you with her scimitar in hand. Zod, it's your turn.
I attempt javelin throw again.
Sure. You're still not raging?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm hoping that I won't need to.
Sure.
Right now.
Save that rager for later, Mang.
What if we
You
get
do
something
hit her.
harder, you know?
You hit her with a javelin.
All right, and then I get a 7 piercing.
Yeah. Awesome. Her turn.
Still
She-
not dead. Wow, that's crazy.
Well, like I said, you suspect she's got more than 18 hit points still, because sleep had no effect despite the roll of 18.
Yeah.
She attacks the wizard. Oh, a 7 to hit. And she attacks with her other hand. She has 2 scimitars in hand. She has 1 scimitar, but she attacks 2 times. She deals 6 damage to the wizard, dropping him to 2 hit points. Mark. Your eyes are all clear.
That is best. So I
Yeah.
am going
We'll see you
to
again.
fireball her. Should work, right? I'm far enough away. Close enough.
Yeah. You don't want to use any spell slots or anything? Or
I don't-
you're not a wizard.
I don't even know what that means. Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, a firebolt does 1 to 10 damage. However, a short bow deals, I think, a 1d6 plus 3. So its average damage, I think, is a little higher. And you can apply sneak attack to the short bow.
Let's see, what's the range on the short bow?
Oh, oops. Didn't mean to hit that.
Doesn't look
It's all
like
good.
it's.
Doesn't matter. And it shows you what it does.
What's the range on the short bow? I don't think it's that long, is it? No?
It's, I believe, 80 feet.
Yeah. Okay. So it's 8, 9, 20. I move up, and then I will try do the short bow on her.
Internet's finally back up, Squash. Perfect timing. right near the end of the
There we
session.
go.
That's a shame. Yeah, you hit. And then you hit for, 11 damage. Nice. Big old chunko damage. She suddenly gets a bit of a shocked look on her face. Like she's suddenly realizing maybe this is, a bit of a rougher fight than she intended. And let's see here. She she doesn't do anything yet. Harry. You're a wizard, Harry.
All right, do I have any penalties for casting on Engage?
Only if basically you have a penalty, you have disadvantage on any ranged spells or ranged attacks. So if it uses a roll and it's ranged, like a firebolt, then you have disadvantage. A spell like Magic Missile, however, requires no roll.
Okay.
Same with like Burning Hands, or I forget what your spells are, but
Okay.
quick peek, you've got like Shocking Grasp doesn't have a penalty. Magic Missile doesn't have a penalty. Those are your only offensive ones. Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, you have Shield. So you Shield is a reaction. The way that Shield works is if an enemy is hitting you, you can cast the Shield spell. It uses a spell slot, and you get +5 armor class. And if that would be enough that attack no longer hits you, then you don't get hit.
I may need to save that. I only have 1 spell cast left. So.
I forgot to mention that. That's worth mentioning. You could have actually used it against her last attack against you, probably, now that I think about it. I feel bad for forgetting to mention. Yeah, it's definitely spells give you a lot of flexibility.
All right, well, best to save that so I don't get downed. So we'll go with Firebolt.
So Firebolt
Actually-
does involve a ranged attack. However, Shocking Grasp. Not only does Shocking Grasp not involve a ranged attack, it's a melee one. But if you hit an opponent with Shocking Grasp, they're effectively they can't use reactions for the turn, meaning that they can't attack you if you move out of their range.
Didn't realize that one was a cantrip. Alright, yeah. Actually gonna say either that or the dagger. I forgot I had melee weapons.
Yeah, the dagger does, I think, a tiny bit more damage on average. Shocking Grasp, though, lets you run away if you hit without any penalty. So there's perks to both.
We'll do Shocking Grasp.
14, you just hit her. Yeah, you hit her. 7 lightning damage. Holy crap. And so, yeah, her body sort of jolts when you hit her. You reach out and grope her with your Shocking Grasp. She's offended, and she's now unable to take any reactions, meaning that you can move away and she won't get a free attack against you if you like.
All right, I'll take a moment to bask in feeling of touching something that's really old, and then I will spit in her face and run away.
Sounds good. So you get up to 30 feet of movement.
Yeah, let's see. I'll just count squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Sounds good. And then normally she would take one of her legendary actions. However, that shock really kind of messed her up. So Zod is up.
I will attempt a javelin throw again.
Sounds good.
And Kiki,
I have
don't be
2
grabbing my
javelins
woman.
left, I think, right? Because I threw 2 of them. So I only have 2 left.
I believe so, yeah. It's a critical hit.
Critical hit. Oh, I have a skill that does something about that. It is Savage Attacks. It says, when I score a critical hit with a melee weapon, I can roll one of the weapon's damage dice an additional time and add that damage to the critical hit. So
Yeah,
what do I
absolutely.
do for that?
Now that may be incorporated already, so click that javelin word to see what the damage currently is.
So
we'll
I
see
just
if it's
am
got
gonna
damage.
roll it like normal then?
Yep.
And we'll see
Yeah,
what
roll it
happens.
like normal, and we'll see if it tacks it on.
Okay, it does, it looks like.
So we've got d6 plus 3 is normal damage, 5 for the crit. So it actually didn't. So if you want to just roll an extra 6-sided die in order to tack on that damage, the way that you do it is /R for roll, and then a space, and then d6 or 1d6, depending on how you want to roll it. So /R or /roll both
And
work.
I got another 6. That's pretty crazy.
Wow. 17
That's a lot
damage.
of damage.
So you whip a javelin at her just with all the strength in your body, and
Yes,
it
my
pierces
extremely
through
swole.
her
Oh, hey,
right
Doey boy.
through her
Thanks for the
chest.
follow.
Yes.
Yeah, javelin goes clean through her.
Clean through,
and,
nice.
Drags a trail of what should have been still inside of her with it. All manner of organs come flying out of her, and she just collapses right there.
Yep. Got a big hole in her now.
The Yuan-Ti cries out in anger and pain and crumples lifelessly to the ground. As her life's blood soaks into the stone floor below, you hear, more in your mind than your ears, a piercing cry of anger. The ground shudders with a startling jolt. Cracks appear in the walls, and motes of dust fall from the ceiling as the quaking intensifies, and the waterfall pouring from the serpent's maw suddenly slows to a trickle. There's no mistaking it. The Fane is collapsing.
Don't worry, guys. That's just my disappointment that I couldn't get my hands on this sweet, sweet snake lady.
Hey, Doey, how goes?
I bet.
So,
my barbarian quickly collects his 3 javelins that he threw. I think 3.
Sure. So you go around. You start snatching up your javelins. So that's what you do for your turn. What's the wizard do?
I go back up to the body and I spit on it.
All right.
And then I comment to the barbarian, it's such a strange custom to spit. But, whatever, when you're in snake place, do as the snake people do.
Yeah.
What's shaking, Zoe? As you approach the body to spit on it, you see that it looks like she's got some she's got like an ornate headdress that's fashioned of emeralds, silk, and feathers of yellow, red, and orange and stuff. She's also got some very nice looking bangles and a nice looking ring. She's got a satchel on her. It looks like she might have some valuables.
Does it look old?
Sorry?
It looks pretty old, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Which you suspect would make it more valuable, if anything.
More valuable to me, for sure.
Pardon?
I said more valuable to me, for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you want to just spit on it, or are you thinking maybe of looting it while you're standing over, or what's the...
I'm not spitting on the stuff, spitting on her. I mean, that's the custom of the snake people. You spit on people, right?
Yeah,
From what I understand. So yeah.
Okay, so
and then I'll pick up the old stuff.
All right, so you start looting her body. The barbarian's grabbing his javelins. What about the rogue way back at the entrance of the cavern?
I approach her body and collect my one arrow and fondle her gently.
And which? What's the last word you saw?
I fondle her gently.
Oh, okay.
I longed for her.
Groping up some ancient snake woman. Terrible.
That's quite grody.
So you start looting her, retrieving your weapons. As you're doing so, again, the cavern is beginning to collapse. The motes of dust falling from the ceiling are replaced with huge chunks of stone as the ceiling crashes to the ground. Following it, dozens upon dozens of writhing, rotting bodies pour into the chamber before slowly rising to their feet. It seems that the courtyard that you're below, that was full of zombies that were attracted by the noise, are now all up in here.
Okay.
Well, that's no good.
Lots of zombies.
Stop. I can only get so aroused.
Long time no see.
Wadumu, who has been with you this whole time, the small frogman, blinks the dust from his large black eyes, and in a single bound he leaps into the mouth of the stone-carved serpent above. This is where our paths part, tall ones, he says, and he goes, you see a cruel grin play over his face, and he goes, now you see that Wadumu fooled you after all, ha! And he suddenly he leaps back in shock and disappears from view as the carved effigy of a serpent's head collapses in front of him. So there's a huge hole in the wall up above where the waterfall was pouring from.
Okay. My barbarian attempts with brute strength to remove the gems from the snake eye.
Hey! I wanted those pretties.
Well, you should have some brute strength to rip them out then.
So make an athletics roll to try and move through the boulders and dig through rubble in order to find...
Alright, I got lots of athletics, so this should definitely pass, I hope.
Anyone up for frog's legs after this?
Yes,
23. Awesome. So you shift aside rubble really swiftly and easily. You dig through and you track down the serpent's eyes. You're right here. So we'll go from turn to turn. So Mark, what are you doing? By this point, the wizard has got probably about half of the valuables that are on the Yuan Ti you just defeated.
I will loot the other remaining valuables as quick as I can off the Yuan Ti.
All right. So yeah, you start picking through her stuff, and then yeah, we'll say that's basically all 3 of your turns. You're finishing looting her for valuables, and you're prying out those stone eyes, and then the zombies start moving.
Just remember, Zod, my class doesn't sleep.
Mine doesn't either.
What
So
does that
eyes are
even mean?
mine.
yeah, we'll keep going for the top of the initiative down. Mark, you've finished getting the valuables.
Oh God.
You see that there's a sort of a tunnel that heads down from up high. There's a bunch of rubble in the way where the giant head fell down. Not to mention all the crumbling that's occurring of the ceiling. The zombies are slowly closing in on you.
So I'm just gonna dash towards the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
All the way into it.
All right. So make an athletics check.
I hope you fail.
Oh, I'm sure I will. Athletics.
All right, awesome. So you start
Ooh,
mounting
too bad.
some of the rubble. Where's your token?
I think he moved it under the white square.
I'm definitely
Yeah.
going to fail my athletics check.
Oh, so so you get to here, and then you're starting to climb up the rubble, and yeah, that's you there, and wizard. Why don't you also make an athletics check, trying to mount the rubble and escape from the zombies?
Go.
So you move 30 feet. Awesome, you succeed. So you start climbing up the rubble, and then Zod, you pry the gems out of the eyes, and then
I do.
do you want to try climbing up out of the place?
So there's like a hole where the serpent head was, right?
Correct.
And it leads back into the hallway, or leads out to the top of the courtyard where we were earlier.
Who knows? It's a giant hole, and it seems to be the
Hole.
only means of escape at this moment.
Do I see
Okay.
anything with my special eyes?
And then you said like the entirety of the courtyard collapsed.
Just a long tunnel right now. Yeah, the courtyard is collapsed in, so there's rubble fucking everywhere. Fortunately, none of you were struck by anything massive, but
Like,
the area filled with
I'm
zombies.
just thinking right now because I'm gonna make the choice between whether or not I think it's better to just like try and climb out the wall into the courtyard or go back through the tunnel here. I don't know. I'd have to abandon my party. I'm gonna go with the going through the tunnel. I'll roll that.
Sure.
So there's that. Another athletics.
Yep.
No, I feel like I'm gonna fail this one. Oh, I got another 20.
Awesome. So natural 26. So you actually, because you got all of your movement, you climb all the way up, and you're able to make it into the sort of next, like into the tunnel. That's what I'm the word I'm looking for. After that, the zombies.
Under my breath, I whisper those were some old-looking gems.
And then we go to Mark. Do you want to try one more athletics check to mount the last of the rubble?
Yeah. Let me try to get out of here. I know it's not going to
Sure.
go well, but you know what? It's fine. I only live twice. Come on. There we go.
Awesome. There you go. You managed to mount the last little bit of rubble and pop up into the tunnel there. And then it's the wizard's turn. Now, if either of the others want, they could give you advantage on your check by helping you up, but it's up to them whether they want to assist you or leave you for dead.
I need my whiz bro. What do I got to do to get him up here?
Well, then roll athletics with advantage. So just roll it, and then you can use either of the 2 rolls instead of just the leftmost.
All right.
So your high roll is a 5. So yeah, you're not doing great. Then we go to Zod.
So you didn't make it up.
He's not. He's in fact with a 7. Yeah, he's almost starting to slide back down a little and undo some of his progress.
Can I somehow help him up, or?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to sort of lend him a hand?
Yeah. Should I roll?
So there's not really much to roll except that you're just using an action called like the help action.
Yeah,
so
the help action.
On
I'll use
his
whatever that is.
turn, he's going to have advantage. Now, I will say, if you're raging, you actually get advantage on any strength-related tasks, including lifting things up and pulling and stuff like that. If you wanted to use your last rage, I would say that you could make an athletics check to just literally yank him up into the tunnel.
Just yeet him over those boulders and rubble, right? Right into the tunnel.
If you like. It's up to you.
I don't think I could do it. I gotta save that in case we get in trouble combat-wise.
All right. The zombies continue to close in. And then we go to Mark. It is.
Oh. The zombies look like pretty fresh corpses. Or are they all pretty old?
They're all pretty old. Yeah, they've been here. They've been in this jungle a long time.
Well, I mutter, at least if I die, it's going to be to something old.
All right. Are you still attempting to help out the wizard as well, or are you?
Yeah, I think we're both helping.
All right, awesome. Well, Harry, why don't you make another roll with advantage? Get that athletics happening.
You can do it, Harry. Yes.
Well, advantage makes the difference.
Yes, it does.
Hold up. And so once you've gotten into the tunnel, you just start heading down, and you keep traveling, and after it seems like it just keeps going. That you trek through miles of crawling, climbing, swimming, and finally, eventually, it leads you to the bottom of a mucky, stagnant pond that it must be at least a mile away from that like little village in the jungle. From there, your trip back to civilization is it's riddled with the typical hazards of the jungles of Chult, but it's otherwise actually pretty uneventful. The merchant princes that hired you, they're sort of unnerved by learning that there's Yuan-Ti that are sort of behind the recent events. They haven't heard of Yuan-Ti being sort of active and around for a long time. They're sort of more the thing of legend than anything else. And so they sort of ask you to remain vigilant and on the watch for any further threats that might face the city. But for now, your searches have they've borne some sort of fruit in the information that you've brought back. Not to mention that after investigating these items, you realize they're actually worth a fair bit of coin. You go to trade them, and it seems the headdress that you recovered is worth 250 gold. Each of the 2 bangles that she wore is made of electrum, and they're worth 25 gold apiece. So that's about 300 gold worth of gear that she was wearing. She had a satchel on her that you managed to snag a potion from. And you recognize it immediately as a potion of healing. It's sort of standard adventuring, gear. And lastly, she had a black iron ring that had a pearl in it. It's a bright yellow pearl, and it glows with a warm yellow light. The ring has been fashioned into the shape of a serpent that twists around the wearer's finger with the pearl clutched in its mouth. The wizard is actually able to cast the spell Detect Magic as a ritual, meaning that instead of just casting it as an action so that it just happens and you're good, which consumes a spell slot, you can spend 10 minutes in a ritual, and it doesn't use a spell slot at all in order to cast the spell Detect Magic, because you suspect that there's something magical about it, and sure enough, it definitely glows with magical power. Yeah, so where it says Detect Magic, just underneath it says Ritual, Divination Ritual. So that means that you can cast it instead of with casting time 1 action, it's casting time 10 minutes. And so, yeah, it takes you a little while. It takes you about an hour of study in order to discern what the pearl does. But you realize that it's what's referred to as a pearl of power. And how that works is you can speak the command word of this magic ring, and you regain a spell slot of up to 3rd level. And then once you've used it, it can't be used again until the next dawn. So yeah, you've gotten your first magic item. Anyone who is capable of casting spells can attune to the ring, meaning that you can only ever be attuned to 3 magic items. It's just sort of to limit the kind of insane shenanigans that happened in previous editions, where you've got 30 magic items on everyone, and you know, everyone's got 30 strength and 50 dexterity and stuff.
Might as well attune that.
So yeah, the wizard is the only one who could probably make use of that.
Wait a minute, I have a firebolt. No, just kidding.
That doesn't use a spell slot.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's basically the adventure. You've come out with a bit of treasure, and
oh, did you say what my eyes were worth? I forget.
Oh, the ones that you pried out, those had some
my
value
brute force.
as well.
Swole body, yanked them out right out of the sockets.
The yellow diamonds were worth. Diamonds are recoverable. Where the hell is it? Sorry, as I say, these modules aren't very well laid out most of the time. Bit of a clusterfuck finding the pertinent information. They're 50 gold per.
That's disappointing.
400 gold pieces, split 3 ways, basically, is 133.33.
Repeating, of course.
Yes.
Gold pieces. So it's 133 gold, 3 silver, and 3 copper. So if you guys want to play another time, continue adventuring with these same characters, then I would have you guys gain a level, and you get to keep the gold that you've earned, and divvy up who gets the potion of healing and who gets the pearl of power. And for that matter, I would let you sort of change characters if you like, or build your own character if you're not feeling the kind of race, class, and attributes that I've assigned for each of these. So
I think I've established a pretty good one-dimensional character.
You think which, sir?
I said I think I've established a pretty good one-dimensional character.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, my characters always end up being the same way. They always are extremely swole.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. Lord Zod's got to be swole. So I think for the moment, I'm just going to do just a little raid and end the stream. But if you guys
Who are you raiding? I'll raid him too.
Sky for sure.
Oh,
got to be Sky. Sky Was the Limit is a good buddy. So I always raid him whenever possible. So I'm just going to do a little raid, and I don't know if you guys want to keep hanging on Discord and chatting about perhaps playing another time, but for now, we're just going to go do a little raidaroo. And see you, dude. Yeah, have a good one, Squash. Thanks a lot for those who watched, and hopefully we'll do this again. And yeah, anyone who wants to join in, just hit up the Discord, and hopefully we'll have even more players for the next one. Have a good one, guys.
All right, double raid hype.
Yeah.
My man rocks in my dryer. What is up, guys? What is up? Mark with the host too. What's up, Squash? Holy hell!
Did you,
thanks for the
did you
raid.
manage to pull off a raid or?
Hi, Mark. What's up, man?
I tried. I don't think it actually worked.
Yo, everybody, how was your
That's all
D&D
good.
session?
You can
Rocks?
also use
I was hanging out for a bit,
/raid.
but of course
I
had
did
to,
that,
I had to start
but
doing my
I don't
thing
think I
here,
had
but
any
was really
viewers at the
enjoying it, man.
time,
I was
so
like, this is like
Oh,
doesn't matter.
really nice to just listen to. It was like a podcast, but with
all good.
D&D. It was really, really chill. I liked it. I hope you do more of that, man. I really enjoyed that. Having fun in Darkest Dungeon. Yeah, we're just getting started with a fresh playthrough, you guys. I only started up
I'm
like
hearing Sky Talk as well.
about half an hour ago or so, not that long
Yeah,
ago.
so I don't know. Do you guys?
Yeah, no,
are
it
you
was really
into
cool, Rocks. I think you should definitely do more of that, dude.
trying to organize
And
this
you sound like
another
you
time?
really know your
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean,
absolutely.
unfortunately, the D&D streams.
D&D.
I assume just because
Yeah,
of
Zod,
A
I
being,
did, dude.
sort
Yeah.
of D&D and a little bit kind of.
You're like, okay, I
working out
guess I'll
kinks,
just take
and
another
B,
swing with the
because
great
of,
axe. My favorite
the
part
time
was
of
like
day and
Rox
stuff.
is like,
It's definitely my
it's
lowest
7, it
viewership
doesn't hit, and you're like,
of any of my streams,
all right.
but I'm still into doing them for sure.
It's like, I
I'm
guess I'll
into
just
it.
try
I
again
gotta be
next
right
time.
back though. Be right back.
Okay.
I think
I
as it gets
doesn't
more
have a lot of
to a
hits,
role playing
attacks. Just
position where
basically,
it's like easier to role play out characters
She
and
has a few
develop
ranged
characters,
attacks,
it
but
becomes
she's
more
more
fun.
Tickle's more of a
Yeah,
healer.
totally. And I've
it's about the
run
Yuani enemy.
like if we wanted
What
to
is a
actually do a
Yuani?
campaign
Oh,
that
Mythic, thanks
takes
for
place
giving
over
that
the
shout out,
course
by the way,
of
man.
you
Thank
know like each week or
I
every
think it's
other
up
week or
first
whatever
game.
for
Yeah, like once or twice
Does
a
everybody
week,
have full
like
health?
for a couple of months.
yeah for like
Yeah,
quite a
everyone's at
while.
full
Like
health.
I've got some longer campaigns
Right,
that I
it's
can
the
run.
snake person.
Like
I
there's
forgot about
there's a
that.
campaign called
Is there,
Curse
I
of
forget how
Strahd.
to see whose turn is next and all that
And
stuff.
it's really
I guess
neat.
it doesn't really
It all
show
takes
you.
place like it's a like an impressive kind of
We're gonna buff up Stroyer.
horror themed kind of dark foreboding
Stroyer
it's like
just
classic
slays.
the original version of it was called Castle Ravenloft
Yeah,
like
I remember what
first
Yuani
edition
is now,
D&D.
totally.
And they've sort of
Yeah.
reprinted it for
Yeah, for
every
this
edition
playthrough,
since
guys, I'm
then.
actually going to
It's
be like
existed,
naming
forever.
characters after
Hell yeah.
whoever's
That's
hanging out in
awesome.
the chat as we go.
Yeah.
I wish I knew more about it.
Um,
That's the
so I'll
only
basically,
thing. Like
like,
I really
once I
just
start
need to
recruiting
sit
more and
down
more
and just
characters,
look
I'll,
at
like,
everything.
Call out and be
And
like,
I mean,
Yeah,
I'll learn
be
it
this
over like
character,
actually
or-
playing it, so
or
I don't
just
want to like
assign random people
I
to
guess
whatever.
wear myself out trying to
I
learn
know
stuff
there's only
about
so
it,
many
but at the
characters
same
you can
time,
be in
that's just
Darkest
kind of
Dungeon,
how
but
I do
it'd
games.
be
Is I
funny to see
analyze
like
them.
Yeah, the
'cause,
first
yeah, you
session
die in this
I
game,
think is
I'm-
much
I guess apparently my first
like
playthrough I did
easier to
Radiant,
just like
which is
have a
easy.
character made for you
Although
and
there,
just
in my
play
opinion,
it.
there is no
Yeah.
easy Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah, rather than like
but now
trying to
I'm
make
playing
your
on
own
the second
race
difficulty,
and
which is
Yeah,
just
yeah,
called
totally,
Simply
but, like,
Darkest.
divvy out everything.
So
but
hopefully
once
this
you
playthrough
know
goes
the
well.
core mechanics of the game and stuff,
Yeah.
character creation is like quite a breeze, especially if
that
you have
way, I
someone
guess.
helping you out. Like usually the first session of any major campaign
I'm glad you
is
guys
just
had
sort
fun
of
with
spent
D&D. It
sitting
sounded like you
down
guys were
with the
having fun.
DM and
Turn
like
towards
I
effective
just help each
mechanics,
person
blah, blah,
build their
blah.
characters basically. You know, like I
Lynchy Echo.
give assistance and explain
Dude,
things.
mine's gonna
It's
be
usually
full.
pretty
He's gonna have like 9 strength.
Can't say it, but I got
I
you
just wanted to
alert.
be a
Awesome, dude.
conceited, like
Thank you.
dark person who has a god
the elf-
complex.
the edgelord
First we're taking skeleton key and
yeah.
a portrait.
Yeah,
I'll
just
take it.
like if I don't need you, I will like
Thanks for lurking,
drop
Flinchy.
you.
Yeah,
You have
I
fun
mean,
with
there's
I don't get
with
what I
whatever
want.
it is you may be doing.
That's
I mean,
that's a
obviously,
common-
the DM
Portrait
allows
per
it.
meal.
I think like the only
Oh,
thing
guess-
I would
don't know how
change
relevant
is
food is.
my alignment to chaotic
Yet.
neutral, so that I could be a little less nice to my party.
Because I got to sleep early
So
today.
that's
Yeah.
that's a
10 a.m.
thing that
tomorrow, so I gotta
almost
get
every
in when
time I run
can.
campaigns these days, I basically try and ensure that everyone is some flavor of good for exactly that reason.
Yeah.
Because it creates much more, it creates more group cohesion. It makes everyone kind of need to role play like working together to a certain degree. And
Yeah.
the other reason is basically that if you are running through like a book, like a big fucking, I usually run from like I don't know, they're like hundreds of pages long tome that's sort of all about like all the different areas and what can happen in them and the different factions and everything. And it's just easier to run through one of those big campaigns if the party is trying to help people they come across instead of being like, well, what do I get out of it? You know? So
Yeah.
Well,
Nah, dude, I was ready to kill. Like, I was gonna kill that guy who lost his daughter. The other day, yeah, I was ready to kill him. If we rested too many times, like if I was able to continue, if we rested too many times, if she died anyways, I was ready to get my reward either way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not asking to like be mean all the time, but neutral. So like, I at least have the option.
Yeah.
When you're good, it's like
and get away with it.
Like at the end, you could have just like run out the tunnel and abandoned us.
Well, no. So it was like I tried at least once. So neutral would be like I tried at least once to help Kiki up there. I mean, yeah, and like I'd be like, no, okay, once was enough. It's time for me to get out of here. Those zombies are advancing. I did my best. Whatever, I'm out. Peace. But
yeah, that's basically why I kind of insist that people play good characters for exactly that reason. Like, because it just makes things flow better and like work a little bit better. Like chaotic good is still a thing where it's like a
what
Robin
happens
Hood
if
type.
you die?
What's that?
What happens if you die?
I don't know. It depends
if you
on your
die in
religion.
D&D, you die in real life.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, that's
I'm ready.
That's disappointing.
Sword Art Online kind of stuff.
So
also on cue, right after the stream, my Wi-Fi adapter cut out.
Oh, brutal.
Oh no, I didn't even notice.
So
enemies also.
Yeah, the like if you die, basically if you go to 0 hit points, there's a lot of leeway for like having someone heal you. And if they don't heal you, you still have a 50-50 chance. It's actually a 55% chance of surviving just through random rolls anyway, and not bleeding out. But if you do actually manage to bleed out and die, basically you kind of decide whether you're going to have the party try and resurrect you, which is much easier to do at higher levels, or if they have a lot of money, or you create a new character and you just make it at the same level that the party has reached.
Dang. All right. I'm never gonna die.
Yeah, like if you got
died through his own stupidity, and
I have that god complex. I'm not allowed to die.
What's that, Kiki? Your audio is a little bit rough, so it's always a little bit hard to tell exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, sorry. I had a friend in Pathfinder that died through his own stupidity, and it was absolutely glorious.
Yeah, like I have definitely seen players die, but in 5th edition it is not very common. You've got to like really be ill-equipped or like ill-prepared to have a character actually die. Like I usually, as a DM, I also really I don't want to kill characters. Like people develop attachments to their characters. You play it for quite a while, you've got a personality figured out, it really sucks to lose a character permanently to death. So I usually just try and do other things and create a challenge, but without actually like trying to kill the party, because it's just not as fun, I think, for the players. And really D&D is a collaborative medium. There's a lot of people who run games who have a sort of they have like a it's me versus the players kind of idea going on, and I think it's kind of an unhealthy approach to the game personally.
Yeah. No. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like that's the two things I do know about D&D is like the different like those there's two massive mediums right there. Like you either play it in the sense that you're just playing it to accomplish the campaign, or you play it against the DM.
Yeah, and there's like some people run campaigns that they refer to as like meat grinder, where they literally tell everyone to like have backup characters, like make several characters, because I'm gonna try and kill them off as often as possible. And I'm just not wild about that personally, because it's it's fine if all you really want to do is throw dice and just do combat and only really experience that aspect of D&D. But I don't know, D&D has a lot more to offer than that.
Puzzles though, like that intro scene with the pillars.
Yeah, that's why I like that module, because it's got it's got a little puzzle, which is kind of fun. B, it's got some combat against like normal enemies, so you can learn combat. And C, it's got like after you do that part, it has like a literal boss where they've got legendary actions and can act on other people's turns and stuff. So it kind of introduces you to all the aspects of D&D.
I don't know if like we ever replay campaigns or whatever like that, but like what would have happened if we had just gone like north or south or something instead?
There isn't really, like, you're just sort of back in the jungle. Like that is your destination. reached. So really, I just would kind of try and hint and move you in the direction of like solving the puzzle, basically.
Yeah, like you would have said, like the path is really overgrown and it would take like multiple turns to clear, right?
Yeah, I'd figure out different stuff like that. Like, well, it's that going to the south, the path seems to wrap back on the way that you came, so it seems like it would be counterproductive. And you just kind of try and keep the players on track. When it comes to little one shots like this that are like meant to be run over 2 hours or 4 hours or whatever, you do kind of they're really linear. Unfortunately, that's just sort of part of it. Campaigns, full-blown, widespread campaigns, usually are much more open world.
Yeah, I played a full campaign.
So I could actually murder people in cities.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, absolutely. There's like definitely some merit to running campaigns that are like evil campaigns, where all the players are evil and work together to that it's challenging to organize.
World domination.
Yeah, but like the reason that it's hard to organize is a lot of players are like, well, I kill my fellow player, and it's just like it's hard to strike a balance where everyone wants to work toward the same goal and also be kind of evil and willing to be like necromancers and not care about but plus people at first level when they're evil are always like, oh, I rob the guards, I kill the kid, I do this and that, and it's like, well,
yeah,
like you're gonna get arrested. You're first level, right?
Yep.
Like that's not wise.
If you play evil, you gotta be smart about it.
It depends on how long you're playing it out too. Yeah. If that's
you really
like a long campaign, then you can't just do that like first day.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's like accomplishing a lot for your first day.
Yeah, exactly. Overachieving. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot. There's like a lot to D&D, but I mean, I love it. I don't know. Just role playing, rolling dice, telling stories. It's just like a video game, but you have more options usually. Like it's like these little 2-hour sessions are good for getting an idea of the core mechanics, but once you actually play in like a big sandbox world, then it's like, oh, like holy shit, there's really no limits. You can really do like a lot. You can, especially I've only ever really run major
blood of the enemy get attacked by gangsters later.
What's that?
I said your rogue can write the name of the bandit leader, gangster leader in his own blood, and then get attacked by gang members later on.
Yeah, like I've literally done things like I had a character that once was being chased by these sort of inquisitors that.
I'm going to get food.
Sure. Right. Yeah, I was being like chased. Our party was being chased down by these inquisitors that hunt down mages, and I was a sorcerer, and we came upon a town that had been taken over by pirates. That was just sort of a separate story thing, and so we were like a day ahead of the inquisitors, and we came across the pirates, and so I literally did like I waited until the inquisitors were hot on our tail, and then did like hit and run tactics to draw pirates out, and then had the party hide so that the pirates and inquisitors came across each other and like literally slaughtered each other, and then we got to just clean up at the end, and so we beat both of these antagonistic factions that we had to deal with by like just having them kill each other, created like a gang war. So little things like that are like really pleasing to do. It's pretty satisfying to sort of
manipulate, you can make it work like that.
Are you still streaming tonight, Rox?
Yeah, I think so. I think I mean Tuesday is usually Prey night, so I'm thinking, yeah, I'll throw down on some more Prey. I've got to figure out some dinner though. I'm thinking maybe of ordering something. I'm pretty lazy, and to be honest, my wife Sonnet usually makes all kinds of awesome dinners and stuff.
She's
and
out.
My culinary prowess is pretty limited, so while she's away, I've mostly been ordering pizza and shit.
That's the way to go.
Yeah. I mean, pizza's great. Sushi also top tier.
Yeah, I just ate pizza, but I'd eat sushi too. Sushi's so good.
I recently learned about poke.
You did what? Sorry.
I said I recently learned about poke.
Oh, poke. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the like Hawaiian tuna kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a place that has that like in the town north of here. I sometimes get food from there. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. Like good high quality fish that's just been like, cooked via like flash freezing and is like, yeah, it can be really nice.
I don't think it's cooked, the ones they have. I think it's just raw, like sashimi.
Yeah, but sashimi is generally like kept. They like bring it down to a certain temperature to kill off anything that might exist. So it's sort of cooked through freezing or through low temperature instead of through heat. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought so.
I always get a California roll.
So basic, but it's good.
Yeah, and then the other roll, like I can't just be completely basic. I'd order 2, and that would make me basic. So that's literally my reason for ordering a second roll that's different every single time.
Do you get the like, some places call it the rock and roll or stuff, where it's like a deep fried California roll?
Yeah, sometimes
they deep fry the whole fucking thing.
It's great.
I'm not wild about artificial crab myself, and a lot of places use artificial crab for their California rolls. So
I'm with you there.
Not here.
I hate it. I like yellowtail hamachi. It's good stuff, man.
That
fatty tuna.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Oh, fatty tuna.
Oh man, tuna. Dude, salmon. We have such good salmon here. Like, it's insane.
Salmon's another really good one here.
You say that, but every time anyone has told me there's good salmon, I've never found good anything about salmon. But I think that's just my taste. I grew up in a place that didn't have fish, so it was like, if you're gonna eat fish, it got shipped in from somewhere, and it was never good.
The thing is, like, if you head up the coast and come visit our city, I will have you change your mind about salmon for sure, one way or the other. There's like a bunch of different ways salmon can be done, and there's a different place in town for each of the different ways that salmon can be made that is like the best you can possibly get. And I would turn you on salmon for sure. Salmon pepperoni, candied salmon, smoked
that
salmon.
Kind of does not
There's
sound
places.
too good.
Oh man, there's a place for each of them, and you can't find something better. It's crazy.
I just like a nice grilled salmon.
Just so you know,
I just like fish.
Mark, you, I believe, are still technically streaming via OBS. So although you're
gotta
hosting,
be kidding me.
If Sky were to sign off, I believe you'd suddenly be broadcasting again.